Hey guys, thought I would throw together a quick how-to video on rebuilding these control arms. 65 to 73 Mustang, these all should be the same. So I took this control arm, sandblasted it and painted it. Put a brand new ball joint on there. That's all pretty simple. And I got this new shaft kit here. This is a Moog part that I got from Amazon, which was a really good deal. I think it was 35 bucks for the pair. I am going to perform a modification that some of the guys online recommend, and that is to cut a slice in the threads here so that the grease can travel all the way up and lubricate the entire threaded area. So I'm just going to quickly do that. I also want to thank Cecil for the inspiration for this video. You can see there that I cut a relief in the thread so that the grease can then travel up the thread and lubricate the entire area. That the area is not real, or is pretty tight around the threads, so that's one of the biggest causes for wear on these old shafts. I'll put the part number that I ordered on Amazon down below if anyone's interested in buying it. It is Moog stuff. I can't tell if it's made in the USA, but looks pretty high quality. I know Moog has some stuff that's made in the USA and they have some stuff that's not. This has got the Federal Mogul name on it, so. Okay. Next, just gonna throw my control arm in the vise. I put a towel on there to try to keep the paint from getting too funky, but it's going to need some touch up afterwards anyways, and probably degreasing. Okay, I got my notches in my threads. Next I want to put my little rubber seals on there, push them all the way up, and then I'm going to flip it up so that it's out of the way. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Once you get the shaft in there, you can't get the rubber seals on, so you got to do this first. Push it all the way up, and then fold it back. My other one just dropped. Okay, so got my seals turned inside out and out of the way. Then I just gotta shimmy it in here. Now, I put it in here, looking at the threads and how they're compared to the inner part of this threading, and I'm just gonna try to center it. Doesn't gotta be perfect. We'll center it later, but the closer I can get it now, the easier it'll be later. Okay. Got my rubber caps in, or my rubber seals in there. Got the shaft in there and it's centered, pretty close to center. Now, I filled the end cap with like about halfway full of grease, just to prime it. And then I'm going to throw a little thread locker on here. You don't want these things coming loose. Cecil did mention that you can, if you'd like, you can put a tack weld on these to keep them from backing out. I am not going to go that route because I don't want to screw up my paint. And because I'm going to reef the hell out of this thing. Get it on there good. Okay, now I'm just starting these end caps. Make sure you don't cross thread them. got them started, I just want to show you real quick that I've got the taper at the end of the cap. I've got that just lined up with, you know, the edge of it lined up with this edge here on the inside of the threading. Just so I'm, get this over here, same over here, just so I'm starting at the same point. I want to try to tighten these two end caps together at the same time, just to avoid any problems. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tighten just a half turn at a time on each side until it's tight. I'm going to have to stick a screwdriver in here. Sorry about that, I got a phone call. So I'm just tightening these a half turn at a time. Until it gets to the end. And then I'm going to put the holy hell of torque on it. Good and tight. Okay, next, you can see that the grease has just popped out just a little bit. That means I had just the right amount in there. Okay. Next, I'm going to take a caliper and I am going to check that I am centered. So I'm going to set it for this side. Transfer that measurement over here. I'm measuring from the inside of the hole in the shaft, the screw hole in the shaft, to the outside of the cap. Okay, and it's got to come this way like a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to just go one full turn at a time. That went pretty far. I'll reset my caliper. Might have to go back a half a turn. It's not going to be perfect, you just want it close. I'm going to go back a half a turn. I'm really close, within a 64th of an inch or so. So that's about as centered as it's going to be. Okay, this comes with some nice right angle zerks. I'm going to go ahead and put some thread locker on them. And it's a 3/8 wrench. I'm not positive, but I think you want the fitting pointing out towards the end of the, out towards the ball joint, because you want to be able to reach it with the hose later on down the road. Those threads are really tight. I did put thread locker on there, so you don't have to snug it all the way up to the face of the cap. You just got to get close. Okay. Now, I'm going to prime the area under the seal. Get a little more grease in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this seal back, pop a little grease in there, and then flip the cap over. There's going to be a lot. We are going to fill it later. Just make it a little easier on ourselves. And then I'm going to flip my cap back, or flip my seal back. And there's the finished product. Okay. Now I'm going to do the other side a minute. Okay, just gonna check, make sure that this moves freely. It's not like, you know, screwing a brand new screw into a nut. It shouldn't be like flip it all around. It should have some resistance to it, but at the same time it should turn without interference. Okay, last but not least, we got these bolts. And they've got these lockers. So I want these holes facing this way. So I'm just going to turn this down. Put my nut bolts in. I'm going to move my camera because this hammering is going to look at me. I'm so pretty. Let me get my hammer. Alright, just gonna pound these bolts in. Okay. It's installed. I can just pull these up. And then we gotta throw a couple washers and nuts on there.
What?
And I'm just throwing these on there so I don't lose them. Sorry about the shaky cam. Okay. Alright, it's a done deal. Ready to install. I'm going to throw a little touch-up paint here and call it good. That's it for this video. Hope it helps somebody.